Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be the August releases that I'm most anticipating. All of them are romance this month, and I'm also going to mention a few honorable mentions at the end because I'm trying to narrow these videos down to 10, but there's a lot more than 10 that are coming out that I'm really excited about. But I'm just not going to go through the whole description of the book or anything like that, but I am highly anticipating them. Okay, so the first book that I want to talk to you about is The Way I Hate Him by Quinn. This releases August 1st. It is a contemporary romance rom-com, just like most of Quinn's books. And some of the tropes in this one are small town, age gap, enemies to lovers, and boss/employee. So I couldn't find the female main character's name anywhere, but basically she's trying to get revenge on her ex-boyfriend by stealing a box of memorabilia from his boss, and then she's planning on returning it and pretending that her ex-boyfriend had stolen it. But Hayes, the boss, catches her red-handed and gives her two options. Either he'll call the police and she can go to jail, or she can work it off by working for him. And working for Hayes is not as bad as she originally thought it would be, because Hayes is actually also her brother's biggest enemy, so she automatically already hated him. That's why she didn't feel bad about stealing from him. But as she continues to work there, she realizes there are still a lot of old grudges and family drama associated with him, and she has to decide whether she's going to follow her heart or if the hate she feels is going to blind her towards the love she feels. Okay, and the next book is Glimmers of You by Katherine Cowell. This is the third book in her Lost and Found series, and it releases August 1st. I still have yet to read any Katherine Cowell's books, but I really want to because I have been loving romantic suspense lately, and I know that's like all she writes, and I've heard really good things about all the books in this series so far. So this one is again another romantic suspense. Some of the tropes in it are brother's best friend, fake dating, forced proximity, childhood friends to lovers, and billionaire, and some of those are my absolute favorite tropes. Basically, Gray and Caden grew up together. They were friends. He was best friends with her brother, but they were also friends because he didn't have really a family. Like, her family was his family growing up, so he spent a lot of time with the family. And so he wasn't just friends with her brother, he was friends with her whole family, including her. But then when she needs him most, he moves away from their small town. But Caden moves back and he finds out that Gray's ex has been bothering her, so he proposes a solution to her that they fake date, they pretend that they're in love in order to get her ex-boyfriend off her back and also to get his dad off his back. There's just one problem, and it's that Gray has always been in love with Caden, so nothing that of the fake dating feels fake to her. And there's actually someone who is watching Gray, and he is not happy with Caden's new role in her life, so they'll do anything to rip her away from him, even burn everyone and everything to the ground. So that sounds intense. I'm really excited about that one. Okay, and another honorable mention of books that are coming out on August 1st is Crossed by Emily McIntyre. It's the fifth book in the Never After series. I haven't started this series, but it's one that I really want to. I actually have Hooked somewhere on my shelf around here, but it's one that I really want to, and I really want to support Emily McIntyre a bit more right now. I'm not going to go into detail what this book is about, but it is the fifth one in the series, and it's coming out on August 1st. The next book is Right Guy, Wrong Word by Julianne. This releases August 3rd, and it's a contemporary romance. There isn't much of a description for this book, but it is a short story that she had put out a while ago and adapted to a longer version. So basically, it follows Anna and Eric, and Anna runs a book club. She loves books, and Eric is her hot new neighbor, and she decides to invite him over for a book club. And he is immediately interested. He loves books and he loves reading, and so she thinks that she's really excited to show him the book that she chose for book club, because she feels like it's like the perfect book for it. And he says the wrong thing and he no longer seems perfect basically to Anna. So that's all the premise I know about it, but it does sound good. It's very bookish and it sounds like it's going to be a really great book. And Julianne always writes like really angsty, great book, so I'm really excited about it. Okay, and the next book is Play Your Part by Katherine Kincaid. This is a hockey romance that releases August 3rd. Some tropes are enemies to lovers and fake dating. So Kennedy's life sort of stalls because her mom died and she just did not feel like she could do anything. She wasn't ready to just continue to move on with her life. But it's been a year and she's finally ready to move forward. She is dating the star player for her family's hockey team, the Palmer City Wolves. And then he's traded and he leaves her behind. He said he like dumps her. He's like, I'm traded, so this isn't gonna work out. So he leaves everything behind, including Kennedy. And Alexei is known for his hot-headed reputation both on and off the ice and all of his antics. He also is Kennedy's ex-boyfriend's biggest rival on the ice. He gets fired from his team, but the Wolves offer him a 1-year contract sort of as a second chance and to prove that he can keep everything in check. But then a sort of a misleading, compromising photo comes out of Alexei and Kennedy together, and the only way that they can fix both of their reputations and the teams, keep both their reputations and the team's reputation in check, is to pretend to fake date. Neither of them want to do it, but they both agreed to date for 3 months just until everything blows over. But the more time that they spend together, obviously, the harder it becomes to ignore the chemistry that's building between them. And because of the fake dating, they don't know where the pretense ends and the reality begins. I love a good fake dating story, and hockey romances have been really popular lately, so I'm very excited to see if this one's any good. And another one that's coming out on August 3rd that I'm going to briefly mention is Hideaway, Hart by Melanie Harlow. This is the second book in the Cherry Tree Harbor series. I haven't read anything by Melanie Harlow, but I know she's a really popular indie romance author, so I just wanted to put that out there that her book is also releasing on August 3rd. And the next book that I'm excited about is Cruel Seduction by Katie Robert. This is the 5th book in the Dark Olympus series. I'm not quite caught up on this series. I think I have like one more book in between, but I love the series. I've really liked every single book that I've read in this series and every single book by Katie Robert in general. She writes great spice and great spicy books that still have a decent or good plot. So this is, if you haven't read any of the other books in the series, these are all fantasy romance, and this one in particular is poly, and some of the tropes are marriage of convenience, enemies to lovers, second chance, and forced proximity. So this book follows Aphrodite, who has never shied away from like getting her hands dirty, even if that means dating or marrying Olympus's #1 enemy, which is currently the new Hephaestus. I hope I'm saying that right. She's going to play games with her new husband and just to throw him off balance, and she decides to seduce the one person that he seems to care about most in the world, which is Pandora. But two can play at that game, so Hephaestus decides to seduce Aphrodite's ex, Adonis. But the only problem with the game of seduction is that hearts start to get involved really quickly. But a broken heart seems to be the least of their worries, because there is unrest in Olympus and their bedroom games may have deadly consequences for not only themselves, their city, and everyone else they have come to love. So that one just sounds so good. I'm very interested. I know that it's going to be just like a really fun time with Katie Roberts' books. Okay, and the next book is Shocked by Kate Canterbury. This is the first book in her new series, The Low brothers. It releases August 22nd. I think that there's characters in this book that were part of her In a Jam book, and like they go back to their hometown. So I haven't read In Jam, but I have heard such good things about it that I really do want to read a book by Canterbury, and this one sounds really good. So it's a small town romance. Some of the tropes are age gap, slow burn, grumpy sunshine, brother's best friend, and enemies to lovers. Like, those are some of my all-time favorite tropes. So I'm very excited. And it follows Beckett, who is stuck back in his hometown. He has to return because he has to help save his family's oyster bar and take care of his teenage younger brother. He really does not have time to deal with his new sunshiny neighbor, who is the owner of the new vegan cafe next to his family's oyster bar. And that person also happens to be his best friend's younger sister, Sunny. No one really expects much from Sunny. She's always been a bit of a wild child, and especially not Beckett. He remembers her from when she was younger, and he doesn't expect anything from her, but she's not the same kid that he teased so many years ago. So they're all wrong for each other. They're total opposites in every way, but they just can't seem to keep their hands off each other. So they tell themselves that it's just like a summer fling, but secrets start to spill and real trouble starts to come their way. So that one really sounds so good. I really am interested in reading that one. Okay, the next book that I want to talk to you about is Unveil by Elli Hart. This releases August 25th, and it's the third book in the Alchemy series. I've heard so many good things about the first two books in this series. It's all over BookTube. So I didn't even know that there was going to be a third one in this series. When I saw it, I was like, oh, maybe I should start this series this month. So it is a contemporary romance, and all of these books follow a club, if you know what I mean. So Jen is the only female co-founder of their clubs, of the club from the previous two books, and she feels like she can't play there because she wants to be taken seriously, and in order to do that, she can't be seen like her other male coworkers could be. So she is very regimented in herself, but that is until Anton joins the club. He is the UK's most charismatic billionaire. And his biggest desire at the club, which I think that's the premise of it, is that you get your biggest desire to come true at the club. But his biggest desire is Jen. So there's some pull and the tension is mutual, but is Jen willing to break down her walls in order to give up control and give in? It sounds like it's going to be a really good one. Okay, and the next book is Shattered Truth by Helena Hunting, or H. Hunting. This is the third book in the Lies, Hearts, and Truth series. I have not read anything in the series yet, but I'm actually going to in the next couple of days for a reading vlog. So I was really excited that there's a third one coming out, so I can maybe just binge this series. These are hockey romances, and this one follows Winter and BJ, who meet after he almost hits her with his Jeep when she is out for a bike ride. He immediately starts flirting with her, and she just does not care. So as she's biking away, BJ realizes that Winter left behind a skate. So she is like his hockey playing hottie, who is Cinderella, and he's the not so charming prince that for her. And neither of them expect to fall for each other, but the truth is about to shatter them. I don't know, that sounds really good to me. I love the little play on Cinderella, how she left behind her skate, so I'm excited to see how that will play out in the book. Okay, and the next book is My Temptation by TL Swan. This releases August 29th, and I think it's going to be part of a new series for her called Kingston Lane. It is a contemporary romance. So it follows Juliet and Henley, who the first time that Juliet sees Henley, she is immediately smitten. He is very handsome and very, very charming. So he asks her out on a date, and they end up going on this date, but it goes very wrong, and it goes so wrong that she vows that she is going to that they will be mortal enemies forever. So, but 3 years later, Juliet buys her dream house, and guess who is the neighbor? Henley, and he refuses to close his blinds at night. So I think we could all see where that one is going, and the forced proximity, like neighbors aspect, I think that's going to be a good one. I'm also curious about what happens on this date to make her say that they're mortal enemies forever. So I'm curious about this one. I didn't love TL Swan's Miles High Club series, but I know a lot of people do, and so I'm interested in trying another series by her. And last but not least, one of my favorite authors of all time, Samantha Young, is putting out a traditionally published book. It is The Love Plot. It releases August 29th. It's contemporary romance, and some of the tropes are fake dating and grumpy sunshine. This sounds like it's going to be a very, like this premise is very much a simple fake dating story, but I'm really excited to see what Samantha Young does with it because I've really loved all of her books that I've read by her. Basically, this follows Starshine, who, if you didn't guess by that name, was raised by hippie parents, and so she's always had like a go with the flow attitude because of how she was raised. She works multiple jobs. She doesn't want a committed relationship. She just wants a no strings attached relationships, and she works just a bunch of like part-time jobs to get through. And at one of these jobs, she meets Wraith. Wraith is a grumpy veterinarian whose family will not stop nagging him to find the one and settle down. So when he runs into Star again a couple weeks later, he proposes to pay her to fake date him. He says he'll pay her way more than she'll make on any of these little part-time jobs that she does, and in return he will finally have his family off his back. But they say opposites attract, and they're gonna have to battle between Star's want for a no strings attached relationship and Rafe's stability mindset. So that one, I'm really excited. I think Samantha Young writes really good character development, so I'm excited to see what happens in this book. Okay, and there's 2 more books that are releasing on August 29th that I just want to mention. The first one is The Good Girl by Nikki Sloan. This is the 5th book in the Nashville Neighborhood series. I've heard really good things about all of these books in this series, and this one in particular also just really sounded good, so I just wanted to put that out there that the 5th book is coming out at the end of this month. And also Don't Let Me Down by Kelsey Ray is coming out. I found Kelsey Ray on TikTok like quite a few years ago, and I pre-ordered her first book in this series. I don't even know what number this is in the series because it's been a while. Like, I still have not picked up to that first one even though I pre-ordered it. So this is more of a reminder to myself to pick up that series because I think I'll really enjoy it. And then now I have quite a few books in the series to enjoy. Those are all of the books for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave me in the comments down below what one book you're really excited to be released this month is. I'm thinking about potentially doing a reading vlog of all of these new releases and what I think of them. So let me know if there's any ones that you would want to see a reading vlog on in the comments. But other than that, subscribe if you're not already, give this video a thumbs up because it really helps me out, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.